He was wearing the watch I bought him. The leather-banded fossil with the cracked face I'd saved 3 paychecks to afford. Smiling wide, shirt half unbuttoned, hand resting casually on her thigh. Her. The same woman he told me was violent, unstable, dangerous. The one he claimed he was hiding from. They were in Tulum. On a cliffside deck overlooking water so blue it hurt. Sunset lighting their wine glasses like fire. And just like that, my heart stopped beating. I dropped my phone on the kitchen counter. Stared at the same floor he'd cried on 3 weeks ago, begging for a place to stay. The same kitchen where I'd let him cook while telling me stories about escaping abuse. The same rent I'd covered because he said he was broke and terrified. I thought I was helping a friend. Someone who needed rescue. Someone who trusted me with his darkest moments. I was funding my own betrayal. My name is Tyrion. This is the part where the camera should zoom out, roll credits, show me finally walking away with my dignity intact. But I didn't walk away. Not yet. Because the betrayal hadn't fully revealed itself. And karma? Karma was just warming up, getting ready for the performance of a lifetime. I can explain, Deacon said when I called him. His voice was shaky, barely meeting the energy of my anger. I held my phone so tight my knuckles went white. Was her hand shaking when you poured that wine in Tulum? My voice cracked. Not from rage. From complete humiliation. He didn't answer right away. That silence told me everything I needed to know. He didn't deny the trip. Didn't apologize for lying. Just said the words that manipulators always use. It wasn't what it looked like. But I knew exactly what it looked like. It looked like me, maxed out on 2 credit cards to help him escape his supposedly dangerous situation. It looked like him, tan and happy and lying to at least 2 women at the same time. I'd been living on instant noodles. Skipping extra shifts at work to stay home and make sure he was okay. Taking care of his emotional breakdowns at 2 in the morning. And he'd used every dollar I scraped together to fly first class into someone else's arms. The worst part? He didn't even sound sorry. He sounded annoyed that I'd found out. Like I was the problem for catching him. You're overreacting, he finally said. And that's when I knew this was worse than I thought. The worst betrayal isn't when someone lies to you. It's when they lie so well that you defend them to yourself. To everyone around you. I'd shown those bruise photos to my best friend Rochelle weeks ago. Dark marks on his ribs, his shoulder, his collarbone. I think he's in real danger, I told her, my voice desperate. She's actually hurting him. Rochelle had looked concerned but skeptical. Now, looking at those same photos again with clear eyes and a zoomed-in screen, something felt wrong. The bruises looked too even. Too perfectly shaded. The lighting was off. I ran them through a basic photo checker app on my laptop. Overlaid the shadows. Checked the metadata. The bruises were edited. Or makeup. Staged. Fake. I felt physically sick. Not just at the lie, but at how eager I'd been to believe it. How desperately I'd wanted to be needed. To be the hero in someone's story. Deacon wasn't faking injuries because he was scared. He was exploiting the part of me that needed to save people. The part of me that felt valuable only when someone else was broken. And I realized something awful in that moment. I wasn't his best friend. I was his backup generator. His emergency fund. His safety net. Nothing more. 2 months earlier, he'd called me crying at midnight. Said his car had been towed from his apartment complex. That he couldn't get to work without it. That he'd lose his job if he missed another day. Can you help? Just this once. I transferred $700 without hesitation. He'd sobbed into the phone. I swear I'll pay you back Friday. You're literally an angel. I don't know what I'd do without you. Friday came and went. So did the next one. And the next. But what I found while searching through my email for his Venmo request was something else entirely. A PayPal notification I'd missed. Not from him. From me. $245 sent to Sterling Events Company. 2 days after I'd transferred him the car money. I googled the company name. an event planning service based in San Diego. The exact city he'd told me he was too broke to visit. The city where his supposedly abusive ex lived. He'd used my money to plan a birthday party. For her. He'd even used my email address as the contact on the booking form. This wasn't a mistake. This wasn't confusion. This was calculated. Strategic. He'd been playing me from the start, and I'd handed him the script. Rochelle sent me a screenshot late that night. She'd been doing her own detective work. It was from Instagram. Deacon's girlfriend, yes girlfriend, whose name was apparently Camila. She'd posted a reel with the caption, POV, when he plans a surprise weekend with your favorite flowers. There they were in the video. White orchids. The exact same ones that had been delivered to my apartment 3 weeks ago. The ones he said were just to brighten my mood after a hard week. The ones that came with a card saying, "You deserve beauty." I didn't know I'd paid for them. Didn't know my kindness was being itemized and redistributed. Didn't know I was the dress rehearsal for someone else's love story. I sat on my bathroom floor with that screenshot, feeling something shift inside me. Not sadness anymore. Not even anger. Something colder. More focused. Strategic. I'd been reacting. Crying. Defending. Explaining. Now it was time to think. To plan. To remember every detail and make sure none of it was wasted. Rochelle texted again. You okay? I typed back slowly. I will be. I just need to know everything first. And I meant it. He'd left his laptop at my place that weekend. Claimed he forgot it when he rushed out to help a friend. I wasn't snooping. I was cleaning up the mess he always left behind. Then I saw it. A browser tab still open. A spreadsheet. The title made my stomach drop. May Budget Shared Trip Planning. I clicked it. Under the incoming column, he'd listed, Cala Car Fund, $600. Rent help from T, $450. Miscellaneous reimburse, $150. I stared at my own name reduced to a line item. To a budget category. He was tracking my kindness like profit margins. Calculating my empathy. And at the bottom of the sheet, there was a note in red text. Ask T about backup card. Say overdraft emergency. He was scripting his next manipulation. Planning his next lie before he even needed it. I wasn't a person to him anymore. I was a payment plan. A resource to be managed. An ATM with emotions he could exploit whenever his real accounts ran dry. I took a photo of that spreadsheet with my phone. Saved it in 3 different places. Sent it to myself in an email with the subject line, evidence. Because I knew now. This wasn't going to end with an apology. This was going to end with accountability. I didn't cry that night. Didn't call him screaming. Didn't pour my heart out to Rochelle again. Instead, I took the gray hoodie he'd left on my couch, the one with the hole in the sleeve and the faint smell of his cologne, and I walked outside to the fire pit behind my apartment building. I threw it in. Watched the fabric catch flame. Watched it curl and blacken and disappear into smoke. I didn't record it for social media. Didn't send him a dramatic text about what I'd done. Didn't even tell Rochelle until days later. I just stood there in the cold night air and watched it burn. And with it, the last piece of guilt I'd been carrying. Because I finally understood something important. He didn't manipulate me because I was stupid. He did it because he knew I'd believe him. Because I loved him in a way he never earned. Because I gave trust freely and he saw that as weakness. The fire burned down to nothing. I went back inside. And for the first time in months, I slept through the entire night without waking up worried about him. That hoodie wasn't the only thing I burned that night. I burned the version of myself who thought love meant endless sacrifice. I never planned to message Camila. The idea felt messy. Dramatic. Like something that would backfire and make me look crazy. But I didn't have to message her. She messaged me first. The DM came through Instagram at 9 in the morning. Hey. I don't know what's going on between you and Deacon, but did you recently give him money? He's acting weird and I'm trying to figure out what's true. My heart stopped. Not from panic. From possibility. I stared at that message for 5 full minutes. Then I replied carefully. Yes. I gave him money. And a place to stay. And trust. A lot of trust. What did he tell you about me? Her response was instant. 3 dots. Then, he said you were his ex who couldn't move on. That you kept offering to help him because you were trying to win him back. There it was. His version of me. Pathetic. Clingy. Desperate. Obsessed. He'd rewritten the entire story. Erased the part where he sobbed in my kitchen. Where he begged for help. Where he made me feel like I was the only person who understood him. And he'd given her a villain. Someone to explain away his guilt. Someone to make her feel superior. But Camila didn't block me. Didn't tell me to leave her alone. She kept replying. Which meant the cracks in his story were already showing. I still had the voice memos. The ones Deacon left during his worst nights. 22 minutes total of raw audio. I'd saved them not to use as weapons, but because I needed proof. Proof that I wasn't imagining his pain. That I wasn't making up the desperate person who'd needed me. One message in particular stood out. His voice shaking, barely holding it together. If you weren't here, I think I'd actually hurt myself. I can't tell Camila the truth about how bad it gets. She wouldn't understand. She's not like you. Another one, recorded at 3 in the morning. You're the only person who sees the real me. Everyone else just sees what I show them. I sent Camila a 22-second clip. No explanation. No caption. Just the audio of Deacon saying he couldn't be honest with her. 3 dots appeared immediately. Typing. Typing. Stopped. 10 minutes of complete silence. Then finally, can we talk? In person. I stared at that message. This was it. The moment where everything either escalated into chaos or transformed into something else entirely. Something strategic. I typed back, yes. When and where. My plan didn't start with rage anymore. It started with clarity. And Camila, whether she knew it yet or not, was about to become my unlikely ally in finding the truth. She asked me to meet at a neutral cafe. Downtown, quiet, out of the way. I wore no makeup. Didn't try to look impressive or put together. I wanted to look exactly like what I was. The real version of the girl he'd lied about. Camila arrived 10 minutes late, shoulders tense, eyes guarded. She sat down across from me without ordering anything. Pulled out her phone and set it face up on the table between us. Did you know he was also talking to someone in Miami? She asked. No greeting. No small talk. Straight to the point. I blinked. What? She turned her phone toward me. Messages. Screenshots. A girl named Petra. Conversations that overlapped with the time Deacon was supposedly in hiding at my apartment. That's when I knew. Karma wasn't something I had to create. It was already in motion. Already gathering evidence. Already building the case without me lifting a finger. Camila wasn't looking for a fight. She was looking for answers. And I had them. We talked for 2 hours. I showed her everything. Dates, receipts, bank transfers, voice memos, the bruise photos, the budget spreadsheet. She didn't cry. Didn't yell. Just kept scrolling, taking it all in with a calmness that scared me a little. Finally, she looked up. We were supposed to move in together next month. I nodded slowly. So was I. He told me I was the reason he still believed people could be good. She laughed once. Sharp and bitter. Then she said something that changed everything. Let's make sure he never says that to anyone else again. We didn't scream. Didn't post dramatic call-outs. Didn't do anything loud or messy. We mirrored. Camila blocked Deacon on social media, but only after liking 3 old photos of her ex-boyfriend. Made her account public again. Posted a picture with a simple caption, "Sometimes the trash takes itself out." She knew he'd see it. Knew he'd spiral. That was the point. I stopped responding to his texts completely. Let them sit on read. Then I posted a photo of myself smiling at brunch with Rochelle. Caption: "You can't lose what was never real." Within 48 hours, Deacon messaged both of us. Camila ignored him. I didn't. I replied with 4 words. "We need to talk. In person." He agreed immediately. Too fast. Too eager. He thought he could fix this. Thought he could explain his way out like he always did. He had no idea we'd already compared notes. Already built the timeline. Already knew about Miami. About the budget spreadsheet. About the staged bruises. We weren't angry girls reacting emotionally anymore. We were investigators. Prosecutors. Witnesses to our own betrayal. And we were about to make him face every single lie at once. The meeting was set for Friday. A restaurant. Public. Safe. Where he couldn't cry his way out or make a scene. This wasn't revenge. Not yet. This was the reckoning. He walked into the restaurant wearing his fake version of regret. Shoulders slouched. Small, apologetic smile. Like he was the victim of some misunderstanding. "You look good," he said as he sat down. Casual. Like nothing had happened. "I've been missing you. I know things got messy, but I was going through. I know about Miami," I said. His face twitched. Just slightly. "But I saw it. I know about the budget spreadsheet. About Camila. About the staged bruises. All of it." Silence. He didn't try to deny it right away. Just stared at me like he was calculating his next move. So I pulled out the envelope I'd been carrying. Inside were printed bank statements. Screenshots. A full timeline with dates and amounts. Every transfer I'd made. Every lie attached to it. The total at the bottom, circled in red. $4,200. "You have 2 weeks to pay me back," I said calmly. "All of it." He stared at the papers. Then he laughed. Actually laughed. "This isn't court, Terrian. You can't scare me with some papers." I didn't flinch. Just looked him in the eyes. "I'm not here to scare you, Deacon. I'm here to warn you. If you don't pay me back, everyone you know gets a copy of this. Your family. Your job. Your friends. Everyone." His smile disappeared. "You wouldn't." I stood up. 2 weeks. Then I walked out. Camila did something I didn't expect. She donated $500 to the youth center where Deacon used to volunteer. Put it in his name. Added a note that said, "In honor of a man who lost his way." It was quiet. Strategic. Generous. And it made sure people started asking questions. Meanwhile, I made a different kind of move. I called the company where Deacon had worked 2 years ago. The place he claimed I'd sabotaged him at out of jealousy. I spoke to HR. Didn't lie. Didn't exaggerate. Just said, "I think you should verify his employment history and references. Some things he's told recent employers don't match up with reality." They thanked me for the tip. 2 days later, Deacon posted a vague story. "People really will do anything to tear you down when you're trying to heal." The comments came fast. From people who didn't know the full story but sensed something was off. "What happened, bro? You good? This sounds toxic." Camila and I didn't respond. Didn't engage. We'd learned something important. We didn't need to destroy him ourselves. We just needed to let the truth exist loudly. Let people see the patterns. Let his own words start contradicting each other. Karma wasn't loud. It was inevitable. And it was just getting started. Deacon's roommate moved out suddenly. I heard about it through a mutual friend who texted me, "Did you know he's been acting paranoid?" Accused his roommate of stealing mail. The guy just packed up and left without warning. His Instagram got quieter. No more motivation posts. No more gym selfies. Just a black screen story that said, "People are snakes. Watch who you trust." I didn't reply. Didn't react. But I screenshotted it. Because every post, every story, every word was building a pattern. A record of someone unraveling. Not because of revenge. Because of consequences. The truth has a way of weighing on people. Especially people who've spent years running from it. Camila texted me that night. He called me 17 times today. Didn't answer once. Good, I replied. Let him sit with it. We weren't punishing him out of spite. We were just no longer protecting him from himself. And that, apparently, was the worst thing we could have done. Because Deacon had built his entire life around having someone to catch him. Someone to believe him. Someone to fund him. Without that, he had nothing. And he was finally starting to realize it. Rochelle called me that week. You seem different. Good different or bad different? I asked. Strong different, she said. And I smiled. Because for the first time in a long time, I actually felt it. Camila sent Deacon one final text. I watched her type it, sitting across from me at the cafe where we'd first met. Her hands were steady. No hesitation. Thank you for teaching me what manipulation looks like. Now I'll never fall for it again. She hit send. Then she forwarded the same message to Petra, the Miami girl. Attached screenshots of everything. Bank statements. Voice memos. The budget spreadsheet. An apology for not reaching out sooner. Petra responded within an hour. Oh my God. I had no idea. He told me you were his crazy ex who stalked him. She blocked Deacon immediately. Followed Camila. They talked for hours. Compared stories. Realized he'd used the same scripts. The same fake emergencies. The same emotional manipulation tactics. Meanwhile, Deacon posted a video. Sitting in his car. Eyes red. Voice shaking. No one cares about men's mental health. You try to be vulnerable and people use it against you. The comments section didn't go the way he planned. Women he didn't even know started replying. Start by not lying to 3 women at once. Accountability isn't abuse. Playing victim when you're the problem is exhausting. He deleted the video 2 hours later. But the internet is forever. Someone had already screen recorded it. Sent it to Camila. We saved it. Not to post. Just to remember. That even his breakdowns were performances. And we were done being the audience. A friend of mine named Fletcher called me out of nowhere. Didn't you used to know someone named Deacon? He asked. Yeah. Why? He just applied for a job at the youth mentorship program I work for. Used you as a reference. We tried calling you but your number didn't match what he gave us. I went cold. What number did he give you? Fletcher read it off. It wasn't mine. It was a fake number. Because Deacon knew I'd tell the truth. Can I be honest with you? I asked. Please. I told him everything. Not emotionally. Not angrily. Just factually. What Deacon had done. The lies. The money. The manipulation. The fake emergencies. Fletcher was quiet for a long moment. Then he said, Thanks for telling me. We work with vulnerable kids. We can't have someone like that here. He didn't get the job. That night, Deacon called me 6 times. Left 2 voicemails. Both of them frantic. You're ruining my life. I know you said something. This is psychotic. I didn't respond. Didn't engage. Just saved the voicemails as evidence. Because even now, even facing consequences, he couldn't take responsibility. Couldn't admit he'd done this to himself. And that told me everything I needed to know. He wasn't sorry. He was just sorry he got caught. A Venmo request came through. $1,400. From Deacon. The caption read, Just returning the energy you put out. If you're done ruining my life, we can talk. I stared at it for a full minute. The audacity. The manipulation. The idea that me telling the truth was somehow equal to him stealing from me. I declined the request. Then I blocked him on Venmo. Blocked his number. Blocked him on every platform I hadn't already. Camila did the same. So did Petra. One by one, his access points disappeared. The people he'd used as safety nets, as backup plans, as emotional ATMs, all gone. He'd always had someone to fall back on. Someone to believe his next story. Someone who hadn't compared notes yet. Now? He had no one. And I realized something important. He didn't want closure. He didn't want to apologize. He wanted control. He wanted me to respond. To engage. To give him another opening to twist the narrative. And for the first time in months, I wasn't giving it to him. Rochelle asked me how I felt. Free, I said. And I meant it. Because silence, I was learning, was the most powerful response of all. It left him with nothing to argue against. No fight to win. Just the consequences of his own choices. On my birthday, I got a card in the mail. No return address. Just my name and apartment number written in handwriting I recognized immediately. Inside was a folded $20 bill. And a note. I hope you're proud of yourself. You've made your point. Can we move on now? A cheap peace offering. An insult disguised as an apology. I didn't cry. Didn't call him. Didn't post about it. I took the card outside to the fire pit. Burned it. Kept the $20 and bought myself a candle. Lavender. The expensive kind. Because I was proud of myself. Proud that I'd chosen truth over comfort. Proud that I'd protected other women from the same lies. Proud that I hadn't let guilt pull me back in. Deacon wanted me to feel bad. To second-guess myself. To wonder if I'd gone too far. But I hadn't. I'd just stopped going along with his story. And that's what he couldn't forgive. Camila texted me that night. He sent me flowers. What did you do? Returned them. With a note that said, "These won't fix what you broke." I smiled. We were both learning the same lesson. That kindness without boundaries isn't kindness. It's self-destruction. And we were done destroying ourselves for men who never deserved us in the first place. A mutual acquaintance posted an old video. A throwback from 2 years ago. Deacon was in it, laughing, arm around my shoulder at someone's birthday party. His voice clear on the recording. Terrian's like a sister to me. She's the only person I trust with my life. I'd be lost without her. The comments section filled up fast. People who knew what had happened. People who'd heard the stories. Bro, didn't you emotionally cheat on her with 3 different women? This aged like milk. Trust? You literally used her as a personal bank. The audacity of this man. I didn't comment. Didn't like it. Didn't share it. Just let it exist. Because the truth had a way of surfacing. People were connecting the dots themselves. Seeing the pattern. Realizing that the person who talked the most about loyalty was the one who understood it the least. Deacon deleted his Instagram 3 days later. Changed his number. Went quiet. Camila messaged me. Think he's finally done? I thought about it. Maybe. Or maybe he's just looking for his next target. Should we warn people? We already did. By telling the truth. The rest is up to them. Because that's all we could do. Plant the seeds. Let the truth grow. And trust that the right people would see it before it was too late. We couldn't save everyone. But we could save ourselves. And we had. I got approved for my own apartment. Not the one Deacon and I had talked about moving into together. Not the bigger place he'd promised to help with. This one was mine. Earned with my own money. Chosen for my own reasons. It was small. Quiet. Perfect. As I hung up the first picture on the wall, a photo of me and Rochelle at the beach, I felt something shift. I didn't want revenge anymore. Didn't need to keep checking his socials or tracking his next moves. I just wanted peace. The kind that comes from knowing you did the right thing. Even when it was hard. Even when people judged you for it. Even when he tried to make you the villain. I cooked dinner that night. Just for myself. Played music too loud. Danced in my kitchen. And I realized something. I'd spent so much time trying to save him that I'd forgotten how to save myself. But now I knew. And I was never going back. Rochelle came over later with wine and takeout. You look happy, she said. I am. Think you'll ever forgive him? I thought about that. Really thought about it. No, I said finally. But I'll forgive myself. For believing him longer than I should have. And that felt like enough. Camila messaged me late one night. You need to see this. She'd forwarded an email thread. Deacon had pitched himself to a podcast as a guest speaker. The subject line read, "Male survivor of emotional abuse, my story as an advocate." He was trying to rebrand. To turn himself into the victim publicly. Use his lies as a platform. But the podcast did their research. Someone, I still don't know who, sent them everything. The screenshots. The testimonies. The bank records. They responded to him with one line. We've decided to pass. Thank you for your interest. He posted a breakdown video that week. Filmed in his car. Tears streaming down his face. I'm trying to heal and people keep attacking me. I just wanted to share my story and help others. The comments were ruthless. Abusers always cry when they lose control. Help others? You couldn't even help yourself stop lying. Karma doesn't miss, my guy. He deleted the video within hours. But it had already been screen recorded, shared, archived. The internet was keeping receipts better than we ever could. And every time he tried to rewrite history, someone was there with the truth. Not out of cruelty, but because the truth mattered. Because other women needed to see the patterns before they got trapped in them too. Camila and I didn't celebrate. We just acknowledged it. Nodded. Moved on. Because this was never about destroying him. It was about protecting ourselves and everyone who came after us. He showed up at my building. I saw him from my second-floor window. Sitting on the bench outside with a manila envelope and a coffee cup. Waiting. I didn't go down. Didn't text him. Didn't acknowledge his presence at all. He sat there for over an hour. Finally left the envelope at the door and walked away. Inside was $460 in cash. No note. No apology. No explanation. Just money. Like that fixed everything. Like paying back a fraction of what he owed erased the manipulation, the lies, the emotional damage. I counted it twice. Then I donated every dollar to the women's shelter downtown. Made the donation in Camila's name. Texted her a photo of the receipt. She replied with a heart emoji. Then, he's trying to buy his way out of guilt. Too late for that, I typed back. Because guilt wasn't something you could pay off. It was something you had to face. And Deacon had proven, over and over, that facing things wasn't something he knew how to do. He ran. He lied. He found new people to believe him. But eventually, even runners get tired. Eventually, the lies catch up. And when they did, there'd be no one left to catch him. Just the truth. Waiting. Patient. Inevitable. My old university reached out 6 months later. They were hosting a mental health awareness week and wanted me to speak. The topic, trust, boundaries, and the cost of self-betrayal. I almost said no. Then I thought about all the women who'd messaged me privately, who'd shared their own stories of being used, who thanked me for speaking up. I said yes. The auditorium was half full. Mostly students. Some faculty. I told them a story. Changed the name. Kept the lessons sharp. Talked about how manipulation doesn't always look like abuse. Sometimes it looks like neediness. Like vulnerability. Like someone who just needs one more chance. I talked about the difference between helping and enabling. Between compassion and self-destruction. When I finished, the room was completely silent. Then someone started clapping. Then another. Then the whole room erupted. Afterward, a girl approached me. Maybe 19. Eyes red. That was my ex, she whispered. Everything you described. I thought I was the only one. You're not, I said. And it's not your fault. She hugged me. Cried. Thanked me. And I realized something. This was why it mattered. Not the revenge. Not the vindication. But this. Helping someone else recognize the pattern before they lost years to it. That was the real victory. That was karma speaking through me. A DM came through from someone I didn't know. Her name was Sienna. Hi. I was talking to a guy named Deacon. Something felt off. I googled his name and found posts about what he did. I just wanted to say thank you. I almost let him move in with me. I stared at that message for a long time. She'd googled him. Found the truth. Protected herself because other women had spoken up. That was everything. I replied, I'm so glad you trusted your instincts. You deserve someone honest. She sent back a heart. That was it. That was all I needed. Not revenge. Not destruction. Just ripple effects. Just proof that telling the truth had protected someone I'd never even met. Camila called me that night. Did you see? Petra posted about her experience. Didn't name him, but everyone knows. Good, I said. More voices means less power for him. Do you think he'll ever change? She asked. I was quiet for a moment. I don't know. But that's not our responsibility anymore. What is? Living well. That's the best response. We talked for another hour. About our lives now. Our healing. Our futures. And Deacon's name barely came up. Because he wasn't the center anymore. We were. And that shift, that reclaiming of our own stories, was the real victory. Karma wasn't punishment. It was balance. And we'd finally found ours. 2 years later, I saw him again. Not in person. On a dating app. New name. Slightly different photos. Same eyes. Same smile. Different bio. He was still out there. Still looking for his next safety net. I didn't match. Didn't swipe. Didn't screenshot or send it to Camila. Just closed the app and kept scrolling. Because I wasn't angry anymore. Wasn't hurt. Wasn't even curious. I was whole. Completely, finally whole. And he would never know what that felt like. To be trusted because you'd earned it. To be loved because you deserved it. To look in the mirror and actually like the person staring back. I thought I was helping a friend. Funding an escape. Saving someone who needed me. But I was funding my own betrayal. Building someone else's happiness on the foundation of my sacrifice. It took losing $4,000 and 2 years of my life to learn one simple truth. You can't save someone who's determined to stay lost. And trying will only lose you in the process. Karma doesn't always look like justice. Sometimes it looks like peace. Like boundaries. Like the quiet confidence of knowing you did the right thing. Even when it hurt. Even when no one was watching. Karma speaks in whispers. In patterns. In consequences that arrive exactly when they're supposed to. And I've never been louder than I am in my silence now. Thriving. Whole. Free.